Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Excited to be here, and once again, we're hosted by Suba Capital. So it's always a swell time to share with you all. My name is Chijindo Suba. For convenience, just call me or remember my name as CJ. I found that to be very easy to remember and to recall. So let's stick to that. Yeah. So that is it. Thank you for having me, Suba Capital. So let me know if I have the floor to start.
Yes, please, you can comment it. You can start.
All right. Thank you very much. Now, talking about investing generally, there are a couple of things that I always have in mind whenever I'm talking about investing, especially for those who are totally new to the investing circle rather, here in Nigeria and in any other country. I like to make sure that we cover the basic first of all, and then we understand our demography before we proceed. Now, if you look at Nigeria carefully, you would realize that Nigeria is not the financial system generally in Nigeria is kind of different from what we have in any other country outside of here. So every country's financial system is very unique to what they have experienced, which is the first thing. So our financial system is unique to what we've experienced. It's also unique to our background. It's unique to our religion. Yeah, and then it's unique to the kind of people that we have and quality of life we experience. So whenever we're talking about investing, we need to understand this first so that it will give us a background of what we are doing and then why we're doing what we're doing, and then also the experiences we're going to have while we're doing what we're doing. Okay, so these are like the basics I thought to touch. Then, of course, I'm going to be sharing my slide in a couple of seconds from now. Then, I also want to let us to understand that when we talk about investments generally in Nigeria, in this particular case, from what we're going to be covering today, we have to understand that there is a journey that anyone who is planning on taking investments is going to follow. Investment is not a short course you would purchase online and practice for a few days or a few years and you'll be done with it. It's usually a lifetime decision. Okay, so anytime that we're looking at taking or sharing information about investment, these are the things we should capture. Now, let me tell you all a story about myself and how I came into this circle of understanding the market or trading the financial market. By the grace of God, I'm actively involved in the financial market, investing and trading. And before that, a couple of years ago, I had my total life savings, which should result to some amount of money when I was still on a university undergraduate at the time. So someone reached out to me, a very close friend, reached out to me and told me that she heard of an investment opportunity because I'm one who is very open to learning new things all the time. So this person told me that she heard about an opportunity that is going to help us make some money from the money we already have. So I was kind of skeptical, but then I just wanted to know how this thing goes. So I asked what was the starting capital, like what is the minimum amount that I would need to get started. So I was told that the minimum amount was back then it was around like $500. So I said, okay, let's give this a shot. At the time, I was willing to spare $250, so I partnered with my school friend at the time, and we put together $500, and we put the money into the investment scheme. And in a month, we saw about 5% of the profits returned, and we were intrigued. We were really getting interested in this, and I was like, okay, if I can be getting 5% of this money on a monthly basis, that would really help me to gain financial independence as a young university undergraduate. So we kept at it for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden one day I received a very shocking call on a Friday morning that all our investment was gone. And then I started to wonder what gone really means, because there are some things that will happen to you. You really start questioning some English words because you feel you know the meaning all the while until something happens to you. So when they told me that all our money was gone, I started trying to recapitulate gone. What does gone mean in English? So when it finally dawned on me that the whole money that we invested, after so many explanations, so all the money we invested had vanished, like nothing was remaining. So it was due to some technical issues here and there. So many stories came up, and then I just figured that I really need to understand this thing if I want to continue in it. I'm a person who is very interested in how money works, how finances work, and then how people's psychology work. So I said I was going to take my time and study this, and that study led me to taking courses online, learning more, expanding my knowledge. By the special grace of God, I'm on course to get my financial literacy educators certificate very soon. It's going to be out very soon. So I've always been intrigued by learning about finance, learning about how finance works and how to take advantage of it. So I just thought to bring that to you so that we could have a good background or where I'm coming from as per the things I've experienced. Like I said earlier, our financial system is going to be largely influenced by the things we have experienced, the kind of people we are, our current state. Okay, so that is going to lead us straight into the slide that I prepared for this short meeting today. So let's get into the slide. So first thing, which is like what I have been talking about, building a right foundation in investment is something that we would need, because statistically about 80% has been clearly proven, mostly by various statistics, that up to about 80 to 85% of Nigerians lack financial education. Okay, there is poor financial education in the Nigerian system. We do not clearly understand credit systems. That's why you see people going to borrow money from loan sharks and other banks or microfinance banks, and then they are defaulting. They do not know the implication of these things. That is because we do not understand credit systems. You see people falling for Ponzi schemes. You see people getting into investments that they do not have any knowledge about, which is one of the problems we have in Nigeria. We have low financial education, okay, or not so many people are exposed to financial education. So this is one of the things that I believe Super Capital is trying to bridge the gap for. Okay, so I wrote here that your journey to financial freedom starts here, and which is starting from getting a foundation in investment. If you don't have a foundation in investment, you would most likely not be able to build something solid moving on. So I believe that from what we're going to talk about today, a good foundation is going to be laid as we explore practical investing strategies that are tailored to Nigerian professionals. Okay, we want to do things that are very practical. What can we start doing from today, and what can we stop doing starting from today? All right, so these are the things that we are looking at today. Now, what we're going to gain today, like I've been saying, but just to articulate it, is first, we're going to understand a bit of the market fundamentals, how the market, how the investment market works generally, okay? You're also going to learn how to avoid some costly mistakes. There are so many mistakes that people have made with their hard-earned money. One thing about financial mistakes is that it's going to reflect almost directly on you when you make a financial mistake. Sometimes when you make a mistake at work, you can be pardoned. When you make a mistake while cooking, you could have another chance to remake the meal. Okay, when you make a mistake with your choice of words, you can ask to be forgiven and then say the right things you are supposed to say. But when you make mistakes with money, it has direct implication. Right? There are a few other things that has direct implication on you when you make mistakes, and money is one of them. And then we're going to also be looking at actionable strategies that we can use to start investing from today. So these are the things that we're going to be looking at. Now, let's talk about investment proper. There is a saying by one of my mentors. He just postulated it, and he said, money goes when you buy, like money goes away when you buy, money comes when you sell, and then money grows when you invest. So if you spend money, on something, on purchasing something. When you're buying something, money is leaving you, so money is going. If you're selling something, whether you're selling your services, you're selling your time, you're selling your product, or whatever it is, when you sell it, money is going to come to you. But for money to grow, you need to invest. So money grows when you invest. So investment, simply put, is that you're making your money work for you, or you're making your money grow over a period of time. Rather than just letting it sit, you are making your money grow. And there are three financial choices that you're going to make in this regard. The first one is spending, like I've said. The second one is saving, and the third one is investing. All right. Not everybody, it's clear that everybody is selling something. So not everybody can say they are not selling anything, except you're not making an income. If you're making an income, you've covered the selling part. Now for the spending part is when money is gone, like I mentioned. So if money is leaving you, that is a financial choice you're going to be making on a steady basis. When you are saving money, that is like the second financial choice you can be making. And then when you are investing money, that is like the third financial choice you'll be making with the money you have made from selling your products, selling your services, selling your time. So I'll take it again. You're either spending your money, you're saving it, or you are investing it. But if you leave your money idle without a plan, that means you're not doing anything with it. Okay, so you should always have a plan for the money. We used to have a common saying in Nigeria that money is a visitor, and if it visits you and you are not well prepared for it, it's going to leave. Just like a visitor visits a person's house, the house is looking unkept, the person doesn't even look like you're expecting the visitor will quietly stand and leave, or will not feel comfortable. So that same way you treat visitors, that is the same way you should treat money. So when money is coming to you, you should have an expectation for what you use the money to do. That's why so many times you hear people saying, oh, I don't even know what I used my money to do and it's finished. That's because they didn't plan for the money. The money left without having to fulfill the mission for which it came to do. All right. So for you to move actively up the financial ladder, investment is a serious pathway you should pay attention to bridge your wealth gap, or to move up on the wealth gap. So for wealth creation and financial independence, investment is something that is very important you should take note of. And if you want to turn today's wisdom, or not today's wisdom, I mean today's discipline into tomorrow's freedom, then investment should be paid attention to and built on a solid foundation. Okay. Now, why should every Nigerian invest, or why every Nigerian must invest? There are just 4 reasons I kept here, and there could be more, but let's just leave it to these 4 for now. Now, for Nigerians, we have a serious problem in the finances of Nigeria, which is inflation. Inflation is like a serious problem. Now, let me create a scenario for you. Assuming you want to buy a product, say an electronic device, a phone, a laptop, a pad, or whatever, and it is priced at ₦1,000,000, and you decide to save it from your salary. Say you're making, say, 250, 300,000 per month, or let's even use minimum wage, which is around 77,000. So if you're planning to buy something of ₦1,000,000 with 77,000, by the time you would save up that 77,000 to buy that product of 1 million, the price may have shifted a little. So it might have shifted by a large margin or by a small margin, but most likely the price would not be the same. So say you're saving 20K every month. In 1 year, if you're saving 20K every month, you would have 240,000 naira. So you would need like 5 years of saving if you continue earning minimum wage to buy a product of 1 million naira. And most likely, by the 5th year, the product would have increased in price. So you would not be able to purchase it by what you have saved. So the first reason why I think, or I strongly believe, every Nigerian should invest is to beat inflation. Steadily, the inflation rate in Nigeria is steadily above 15%. There are times when even, I think this year, it got to around 33% and then dropped to 26%. Most times, some of these statistics can be vague compared to what you actually see in the marketplace. Okay, but knowing that inflation is above 15% on a yearly basis, that's year on year, you should be investing your money in anything that can give you interest of about 15% on a yearly basis, so that at least you would achieve the first purpose of investing, which is beating inflation. Okay. The second reason why I think every Nigerian should invest is to build long-term wealth. There is no very wealthy person that is not an active investor in any sector. There are various sectors that people could invest in. I'll share that moving into the remaining part of this presentation. But to build long-term wealth, especially when you have long-term goals or long-term plans that require finances to sort, you need to understand investment and be actively engaged in those small, consistent investments compounded over time can give you a whole lot of money. All right. When you plan it and then you do it over a long time, it's going to give you a whole lot that you plan to achieve, or it's going to help you achieve what you want. And if you belittling it, then you'd not achieve the goal. If you're looking at it, I think in Nigerian parlance or Nigerian local parlance, we say looking at it less, right? When you are looking down on the little investments you're making, it's going to cost you a whole lot. There are so many times I see many people trying to make gestures and saying that it won't amount to anything. But trust me, by the time we end this session, you'd see that even with small amount of money that you've invested in the right places over time, would amount to something at the end of the day. Okay. The third reason why Nigerians must invest is to achieve their dreams. Whether it's children's education, buying a home, getting retirement, investment is going to play a large part in that, because I've seen many people who, so a couple of days ago, I was talking with someone and the person shared something that I strongly believe in. The person said that because of what he lacked as per education, quality education in Nigeria, he doesn't want his children to go through that. So I asked him what he was doing about it. He said when the time comes, he's going to start doing something. I told him that if this is a serious concern for you, this is like the right time to start. Before you even decide to get married and have children, you should already start planning your children's education from now. You should have funds that you've saved up somewhere. Okay, for some people, if you go to some other countries, even for some of the elites in Nigeria, they have what they call a trust. So the money is locked up for the children's academics, for the children's investments, children's businesses and all that. So someone will have maybe about, let's say, ₦1 billion, and they would save it up in a bank, leave it in a trust where they have someone who is a trustee who is keeping that money for the children. So even if the person is alive or is dead, that money would only be used for what the person who saved up the money said it should be used for. So if it is used to send the children to the best schools, used to set up the children in best firms, or to help them to start up their business, that money would be used to achieve that. So for us to be able to achieve such kinds of dreams, we should need to start understanding how to use our money right now to achieve those dreams. And then finally, to leave a legacy. When you are living, there should be something that you should be able to leave for people to take advantage of when you're no longer here. Okay, so these are like the core 4 reasons why I think Nigerians should invest. Now, let's talk about the 4 pillars of investing. We're already in the midst of the whole discussion. All right, the first pillar, I just tried to make things very short. So we're always doing 4 lists or 4 bullet points. So the first one amongst the pillars of smart investing is mindset and goals. Most Nigerians are always thinking of short-term goals. You want to achieve something right now. Like I said, when you're trying to invest, you should, the things that would form our financial system in Nigeria largely comes from our kind of people, or the type of people we are. Most Nigerians are largely impatient people. We are largely impatient, especially when it comes to money and systems. You can be patient with people, but we are not patient with systems. We're not patient with structures. That is why many people just want to cut corners and get what they need to get immediately. There is less display of delayed gratification here in Nigeria. So that is one problem. So if you want to get into investing and you want to do it the smart way, you need to fix that as part of your mindset and your you need to fix that as part of your mindset and strongholds in your heart or in your mind. Learn to think long term. Second thing is that you should set specific targets. It's not a university relationship where you say, or a secondary school relationship where you say, let's see where it goes. No, this is your money. You should have a target. What do you want to do with this money? At what time do you want to achieve that goal? And how do you want to achieve it? Then you should also you should also try and understand yourself. Where are you heading to financially? Person, as a human being, where are you heading to? What level of financial freedom will you get to and you say it's enough? Some people do not have that in their dictionary. They just want to keep getting more and more, which is where greed now comes in. I'm not saying you should limit yourself. I'm someone who would want to push myself or push anyone through the walls. Make sure you achieve the best that you can ever achieve, but you should know when to say it's enough. That is what is going to give you peace of mind, because even if you have $1 billion today, for some people, because they do not know when to say it's enough, they'll still not have peace of mind, because you think that you get peace of mind when you finally get all the money in the world. Sometimes when you get all the money in the world, you still want to push yourself beyond the normal boundaries. So not knowing when it's enough is going to make you lose your peace, and it might even ruin the system you're already building in place. So knowing when it's enough, having a long-term target, and then setting clear and specific goals are part of the mindset you need to invest smartly. Then the next thing that you need to do to invest smartly is having your emergency fund and setting it as a priority. Basically, what an emergency fund is that whatever you're doing, whether you're running a business, you are working, or you're a civil servant, you're a student, if you want to create an emergency fund, my own frame of mind is that you should have some money that you can live off of. That means you should have some amount of money that in 3 to 6 months, if you are locked up or if you do not make any kobo, if you do not make any money, you are not paid any dime for 3 to 6 months, you can live off that money. That is what an emergency fund is. So some people want to start investing with their last card, which is one of the mistakes that I made, and I'll share it with you guys earlier. Some people want to invest with the money that they're supposed to use to pay their house rent or school fees. Some people want to invest with money that is supposed to use to cater for their family's immediate need. So before you even start investing, you should make sure that your emergency fund is sorted. So the money that is going to take care of you, and if you're a family person, the money that's going to take care of your family for the next 3 to 6 months, you should have sorted that out first before you even start thinking of investment. So if anybody brings any investment scheme to you, make sure your emergency fund is sorted out first. Okay? Because we will soon talk about risk. If your emergency fund is not sorted out immediately, then you are having no foundation upon which you are building your investment on. So make sure your emergency fund is sorted out, and never invest money that you might need immediately. That's going to cut you short of the long-term project. All right, like I said, you always think long-term. So any money you are going to be needing immediately, do not invest it. If you invest it, you would want the return quickly because you're in urgent need. Okay. Now the next thing is risk versus return. Whenever you see anything, this is basic and solid pillars of investing. Anything that you see as per the returns that you're going to get from an investment, just know that that is directly proportional to the risk involved. If someone is telling you you can make 40% of your capital on a monthly basis, know that you can lose up to 40% of your capital on a monthly basis. If someone is telling you you can make 100% profit in one day, just know it that you can lose 100%. If someone is telling you can make 1000% of your profit in 3 weeks, just know you can lose your whole profit in 3 weeks. So risk is usually proportional to return. The amount of risk, except when you now tweak it and add some other variables, which we'll talk about later, maybe not in this session. But when you have when all things are being equal, risk is usually proportional to return. So if you see anybody promising you so good to be true returns, just know that that is the amount of risk you are going to have. Okay. And then lastly, diversification. Always make sure you don't put all your eggs in one basket. When it comes to investing, try as much as you can to spread. Now, when we talk about diversification, this is a rule that I use generally, and I just want to share it with you guys. The rules are having 3 baskets for investments. Okay, even if this is the last thing we share, I think this is something solid you should go home with. There are 3 baskets of investment I always advise. There is the 50, 30, 20. Okay. Now, the 50% is for low risk investments. I will share what low risk investments are. 50% is for low risk investments. When you are sharing your investment into different baskets, 50% is for low risk, 30% is for medium risk, and 20% is for high risk. The reason why we do it this way is so that even if the high risk you end up having maybe a margin call or a major loss as a result of the high risk, you still have 80% to invest, or 80% investment still there for you. So 50% on low risk, 30% on medium risk, then 20% on high risk. This is like my best investment formula. So always make sure you have this in mind. When we talk about diversification, this is how I intend to share that knowledge with anyone. Now, when we talk about risk, the low risk, the medium risk, and the high risk, let me just give you different examples of what they are. The first one, that is the low risk, is for safe and modest returns. In low risk returns, you're going to be seeing things around 15% on a yearly basis, 15% or in a 12-month period, or 15 to 20% usually in a 12-month period. That is the kind of return you'd have. So if you put 1 million in a low risk investment, you should be getting between 15% to 20% on a yearly basis. Okay? And where can you do that? You can start with treasury bills or federal government saving bonds. You can go to your bank, any bank you use, tell them you want to start or you want to open an FGN bonds account. They are going to set you up. Every bank is supposed to do that by Nigerian Debts Office. All right. So that is like for treasury bills. What it means is you can go up and read up on this, but it means you are borrowing the government money to do stuff like infrastructure project and all that, and the government will return your money with profit with the interest after they've used it. Okay. Usually they'll first pay you the interest. And now it's around 15.5%. So if you put like 1 million naira, they'll pay you the interest first, which is around 155,000. They'll pay you. Then after 1 year, they'll give you back your 1 million naira that they borrowed from you. So that is on low risk. The next one is medium risk, which involves mutual funds, real estate, cooperative investments, and all of such. So for these ones, you can go to things like Stanbic IBTC, AfriInvest, I think PiggyVest as well, and ask about their mutual funds. Here you'll be getting around 20 to 25 or even 30% interest on a yearly basis, as the case may be. So on a monthly basis, I mean. So for low risk, the federal government bonds is usually on a yearly basis. For medium risk, it's usually on a monthly basis. So you can start out with that. You can check out IBTC mutual funds. They are currently running at about 1.8 to 2% monthly. So in a year, you could be getting around 24% or 20 to 24% in a year. So you can start out with that as well. You can also do AfriInvest or PiggyVest, any of these. They all have various mutual funds that you can start out with. And I believe these ones are safe because they are big organizations that have run these things over a long time. Then the last one, which is high risk. This involves trading company stocks. You can go to any, like I think Bamboo, Carrywise, PiggyVest, and the likes. You see different company stocks you can start out with. It also includes forex trading, crypto trading, and then also investing in businesses. Okay, these ones are high risk. So you can take any of these, but remember the formula that I gave you: 50, 30, 20. If you're able to spread your investment across board in this format, then it's something that I believe is going to keep you safe. So you can start out with federal government bonds from any of your banks. You can get also, you can divide your money, put 50% on federal government bonds, put 30% on mutual funds. You can start with the ones I mentioned. You can also try out high risk investment if you know any. So you can buy a company stock which you believe has a higher potential of doing well. Okay. And then something I also wrote is that you should try and avoid Ponzi schemes. Anything that shows you, anything that sounds too good to be true may probably be too good to be true. So try as much as you can to avoid Ponzi schemes. Nigerians keep falling for Ponzi schemes all the time, which is a serious problem that we face in this country. So if you do your research well, there are things you should know and you will not fall for any Ponzi scheme. And big kudos to, I think they have the SEC. They are trying as much as they can to reduce how people fall for Ponzi schemes, and they are carrying out a financial literacy campaign that is going to help people avoid such. Now, as we're wrapping up, let me show you the golden rule I have for investing. First one is start early. There's no time that is too early to start. You can start at any time with any amount of money, no matter how small it is. Start early. If you are an undergraduate, a postgraduate, you are a civil servant, a family person, a wife, whatever it is, even as a child, you can start early to invest so that you can use this money to do whatever you plan to do in the future. Then be consistent. Okay, always pay yourself first. When you receive money from as an income, salary, profit, or whatever, pay yourself first, and then take a particular amount on a monthly basis and push into these investments that you have. That way, you can compound it over time. Then you should also think long term and then keep learning. There are various other newsletters and resource materials you can use to learn about investing, and also platforms like this that is provided by Suba Capital to help us understand investing. So always be open to knowledge, open to getting new knowledge and learning about investing, so that you'll be on top of the information gap all the time. Okay. Now, finally, I just want to share these things with you. The mistakes that Nigerians make: first, chasing quick money. All right, you should avoid chasing quick money. If it's showing you're going to make some amount of money in a short while, try and avoid it. Then we also skip due diligence. Do your proper research. If you do not understand how money is going to be made from a particular system, avoid it. If you don't have an understanding of it, avoid it. But if you are really, really interested and you are hell-bent on getting that, go and get more knowledge about it. Then ignoring fees, try and ask if there are any hidden fees, and then set and forget mentality. Okay, failing to monitor your investment over time. That if you understand it, then you can monitor it. So if you apply these things that I've shared with you today, I believe you should become a profitable investor within now and the next couple of months. I'll be wrapping up here. Thank you very much, Suba Capital, for allowing me or for inviting me to share these thoughts that I have on investment. And I really wish you all will be able to apply all these things. For everyone who has joined, I wish you be able to apply all these things and then invest properly to become a profitable investor at the end of the day.